Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So we're asking the question, just how friggin' fast is next format going to be? Now, I don't think that anybody with eyes would dispute the fact that the game of Yu-Gi-Oh has gotten extremely fast recently, and a lot of duels can seem like they're over by turn 3. I've discussed in the past why I believe that is, and it's mainly because I feel like every high tier deck right now can put so much damage on the board within 2 turns. I mean, whether that be like double Dante or, Cleese, they do their standard play where, they open up with a carrier that's equipped with sacrifice, and then they tribute it for disc, and then they pendulum back the carrier, and they bounce your monster, and that's 8,200 damage, assuming you take all of that. Or, Shadow is just summoning Denko and then vomiting all over the board, and you can't use any of your traps to basically stop it unless you have warning. So basically, every tier 1 deck in the game right now can do a ton of damage. I mean, maybe you can say that Sertellers are like tier 1.5 and they may be the one exception. But while none of those decks actually got significant hits on the ban list to stop any of that stuff from actually happening again this format, we actually got even more ways to push out high amounts of damage very, very fast. The first and the most obvious example would be Snatch Steal, which, especially if you're going second, just basically lets you say to your opponent, hey, give me your monster, now I'll summon all of mine. Go ape shit on your ass, and oh, you don't have to worry about that 1,000 life points because you won't be alive long enough for that to actually matter. And then the second card would obviously be Honest. And I mean, I think that Honest is not only just another huge damage card, but a lot of people are missing the fact that Honest is going to be so insanely good in Shadows right now because they run BLS and they run White Dragon and they run Construct, and Construct and BLS 2,800, 3,000 can attack twice potentially. Those are not cards you want to sleep on. And if you thought that you could just summon and attack over Denko Seka, which a lot of people tend to do to get it off the board, think again, motherfuckers, because now Shadows can run 2 Honest, so they're going to consistently see it. And Denko is one of those cards we all know if you've ever played against it. When you summon Denko, your opponent pretty much has about a turn to kill it before they lose, because once you get Denko on board, you will throw all your resources to kill them. I also think that there was another significant change on the list, one that has kind of flown under the radar, and that's Reasoning going to 3, and that coinciding with the release of the Infernoids. And I mean, the card is like perfectly made and built for the Infernoids because their levels are all over the place, like 4 to 10, and I think there's one with like 3,000 attack who can nuke the board. So running 3 Reasonings essentially lets you not only vomit all over the field, but it kind of lets you just completely cheat the restriction that they have on their inherent special summon conditions, because all you have to do is just Reasoning, and then if your opponent calls the wrong level, you're throwing out 3,000 beaters. So I look at this format and I'm like, man, they didn't do a lot to kind of curb the aggro in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but they sure did a lot to exacerbate it. And you're also still going to have the games when you're playing against like Cleese or Burning Abyss, and maybe you get Fire Lake turn 1 and the game's just over, or you're playing against Cleese and they open Vanity plus Scout or Skill Drain plus Scout, and you just auto lose because you don't have an out. So there are going to be games where your opponent draws their super traps, which weren't hit on the list, and you just lose. And there are going to be games where your opponent has that Snatch Steal or that double Reasoning opening, or like Honest plus BLS or something like that. So I think this format is going to be crazy. I'm not saying it's going to be the fastest format ever, just because I can't remember every format and how exactly it played out over the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think it's going to be even potentially faster than the last format, just because there was nothing significant that got hit. I mean, you can say Super Poly for Shadows, but I mean, how easy is it going to be for them to just add in Snatch Steal and have an even better way of taking your monster and attacking with it? So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, as always. Subscribing makes life happy.